Okay, folks, happy Monday. Let's clear the work area here for a second. We're going to do an experiment, an experimentation. And we're going to take one of these mini bottle caps that I have on here, and we're going to try a new product to do snow. Made in the USA. Wow. The one item. Light molding paste. So I watched a video and they recommended this is a pretty good product to do standing snow. And we'll see if that's the case. Now, we use this as an application to it. We probably can't mess with that until in the morning and see what we got there. But I've got this powdered snow already that I've had a long time. Be able to use that, and then this as well. This is supposed to be like a rock hard finish. So we'll see how that works. And we don't necessarily want to use that for the T-34s, but there's some other things that would come in handy for them. Now, before I get too far carried away, let me take a look at where the decals are over here. And see what we have for the American decals. Because we have a couple of Shermans here that are going to need star decals. These are petting house ones. I'm not using petting house ones. They can go fly a kite. Okay, these are all right. These details. What's up, Matthew? Oh, we're getting ready to paint some tanks here. And these are micro scale ones. These are some of the best decals you can get, in my opinion. They lay really, really flat. So what I'm going to do is, even though we're not doing the Americans just yet, these are horrible looking models, and that's one of the reasons I want to test the snow. Is we're gonna cover some of this stuff up and put snow on them to kind of cover up some of the crummy looking nature of it. I think they're gonna look fantabulous when we're done, but we'll see. I need to put some clear coat in certain places on these tanks, so that when we put the decals on, that'll all be ready. So there's no harm in putting clear coat somewhere and then not putting a decal there. So with that said, we're going to make sure we have it in places that we could potentially want a decal on it. Okay, so we're going to put it on the side of the turret here, on the side of the hull, on the front lip here, same thing, side of the turret. And that just provides a gloss surface so that when you put the decal on there, it adheres, it lays flat on it. And then this turret up here, same thing with the hull, same thing on the front, same thing here. Your sister and brother are good artists. Why don't you turn out like them? So what do you do that they don't like? Because that's always the case, you know? What did you get blessed with? I'm going to put the back of that right there. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to set these things off to the side. And I also have a half track. And on that one, we're going to do the engine compartment here, there. Like I said, there's no harm in putting this on there and then not putting a decal on it. Because once you do the flat coat on everything, it's just going to disappear. Now, I don't know if it's, I'll put one on the door, one on the spot here, one on the spot there. That should cover everything. This takes no time to dry, like 30 minutes easily. We're going to paint those up like for Battle of the Bulge. Marcus decided to send me some Winter American, so that'd be perfect for him. It's like literally a squad's worth. You're also very good at it. Okay, excellent. You have to go to work in the morning. Ooh, don't use that W word. I do too. All right, we're going to sit that and we're going to inspect that in the morning and see what we're looking at. All right. Don't use the W word. Yeah, I don't get the big blues I get are on Sunday night. Like I don't have the blues that I got to work tomorrow because you know what? The week is one day shorter now. The work week is one day shorter. Man, I'm funny. Am I? Thank you. I tried my hardest. All you got to do is just take a shower every day and it just takes care of itself. Yep, I try to stream every day, man. Every day. I did a video recently on a reenactment that I went to over the weekend. And oh, my one is got a little bit thicker. And I got some really nice comments by some people that were there. One of them in particular wanted to do an interview. I mean, I'm not an interview guy. I'm not a what do you call this? A journalism major or anything like that. I'm not even very good at running a camera, but I do know how to ask questions that nobody else will ask. And I don't mean like putting people on the spot. I'm just like, you know, if you're doing World War II reenactment, I've got like that's my jam. That's the kind I know how to ask those kind of questions. Not like, hey, what kind of tank is that green one? You know, kind of shit like that. Like, you know, we're gonna a little deeper. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go to one of these other things and one of the events another event that these people are having, and I'll seek some people up to do an interview. But the problem with the interview is that there's a lot of people that are, you know, it's a free event they're just people off the street, and a lot of them are just asking dumb questions, and you know they have to kind of like nod, like yeah, they're there for the public and stuff, but these people are harassed by, you know, folks that aren't really interested in the theme as much as they are. Well, I am. I just don't want to dress up in wool in Florida. That's, you know. Did I know bears are related to dogs? What's up, Nate? All right. Are they? They're related to foxes are related to dogs. All right, let's see. Oh, I did not close this up properly. Let's think outside the box. I bought a replacement for Null Oil. It's what Army Painter does. It's called Dark Tone. Let's see if it's any different. Say hi, Desmond. I just did. Let's try this. I may actually like it better than the other one. Got the super readers on? Okay. It's more readily available. It's funny because the Games Workshop paint isn't as readily available as Army Painter or Vallejo. I just did. Are you okay? You feeling all right? But back in the day when I used to work at a hobby store that had Games Workshop stuff, I don't know if their methods have changed. But the problem used to be is you had to order a minimum amount. I want to say it was $250. It's probably a lot higher now. So you couldn't just say, "Hey, I need 3 of these paints and 1 pack of the Gene Stealers or something." I don't know how I know that. I'm not a Games Workshop player, but you know we need to restock on two Tyranids and a Gene Stealer pack. You couldn't just order that. They made you order a minimum. Like they were like, if they're going to listen to you, it's like they needed more stuff than that. So they were just like really bossy about how they want to do that. And it's like, and I don't know if that's still the case. So anytime that I've seen Games Workshop paint, it's usually like low stock on a lot of things. And maybe they're just waiting to run out of a lot of things so they can put an order in. But I generally like their products, their paint products, until they go and change them. Most of my early World War II stuff is done exclusively with Games Workshop paint because it covered really well. It covered really well, and I was a big fan of their paint and their bottles. I mean, the Vallejo bottles hadn't come in yet, so at that point, the only bottles you had were things like flow pool bottles and these bottles. Which this is still one of the original ones. This color doesn't cover worth a shit, but so I really like that. Do you have any kids? No, I don't have kids. I have child. You're deaf. Can you please talk and sign? I don't know. I don't know sign. Man, we got some special needs people on today. That's good. We welcome all types, but I'm here trying to do some painting, folks. I don't know sign language. I'm going to guess, and you probably, if you are deaf, you probably don't know what the hell I'm saying. That you're more likely to find people that speak Russian than you do people that can sign. I just don't think that there's a lot of people that do sign language. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know anybody that could sign. Of course, I don't know anybody that can speak Russian either, so that's probably not a good example. You like war history? Me too. Me too. Wars are stupid but fascinating. You know, if you want to go to a channel and misbehave, this is not the channel for you. You could what? When you could still hear. Well, I can't type anything, unfortunately. Can you not hear anything at all, or are you just legally deaf? Because there's a difference, you know? I would imagine there's a difference. Like, like I'm like if I take my contacts out, I can't drive a car. I better not drive a car. But I can still see. Ish. Speak of not being able to hear, if any of you guys watched that video that I uploaded yesterday of that reenactment, they had real guns going off. They were just firing powder. Okay, they were just shooting blanks. But they're loud like guns and cannons, and some people weren't wearing any ear protection. I'm like, that's a no-no, man. That's a no-no. Thanks, man. And the photos don't come out well. These don't even look that good. Let's see. Let's turn this around. And these trucks were junk. They were just complete junk. And it's really they're junk the way they're forced to put together. I mean, they're a little rustic, right? But they're Russian trucks, man. You're lucky they even run. They paint up okay, but you gotta build some undercarriage on it or something. So I love doing the headlamps. Love it. All right. Okay. Oh, we'll just try using this color instead of the Nuln Oil, which is I had gotten it because I figured when I run out of Nuln Oil, I'll just switch to this since we're using Army Painter for all the other stuff. I don't really like the Army Painter paint. I don't think it covers great, but these washes are awesome. So, and that's good. I don't want to be like, oh, I only use this or I only use that. I use, everybody's stuff. I use some Games Workshop things. I use Army Painter stuff, Vallejo Model Color, AK, Interactive, some Ammo MIG. I'd probably try a couple others if they were readily available in my area. Definitely, as long as they're acrylics, it's fair game. If they're enamels, I'm not interested. That's just too much trouble. I like free brush cleaner. But next, I think the next show they got is going to come up in November. I'll reach out to those guys, the what is it, World War II Tanks.org or something like that. And they contact a couple guys before and do an interview or whatever. But I'm going to ask questions that the people aren't going to ask. And I don't mean like I'm going to ask rude things to them. I'm just going to be, we're going to dig a little deeper. That's the one guy was telling me he's like a combat medic. Well, if I'm doing an interview with some guy who reenacts a combat medic in World War II, what's the first thing you're going to ask a combat medic in World War II? Like some guy who's a combat medic in World War II. What's the very first thing you're going to ask him? Everybody should know this. Everybody should know this. It's obvious. I think it's obvious. And you still have to double check what people say because, you know, I like asking different people different things and see if they all correlate, you know. But the one question you want to ask a combat medic is, are you guys allowed to carry a firearm? And I don't mean, like a rifle or anything, but like, a pistol. Because I think technically they weren't supposed to, but some of them probably did, in case the other medic isn't armed. But I'm pretty sure on the Western Front, they were fairly respectful of Red Cross vehicles, Red Cross people. Not saying nobody ever shot at one, but now on the Eastern Front, all bets are off. I've actually never even seen a Red Cross on a Russian. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't believe in that. I've seen Soviet medics, and they're usually female, but they don't have a Red Cross on them or anything. And I'm sure on the Eastern Front, there's like all bets are off. We're shooting anybody. No quarter. I gotta write two things down because if Marcus comes up here, I wanna tell him two things. Now, it doesn't seem to be behaving much differently. And I certainly prefer this type of a container to this type of a container. Yeah, the only thing about the way that I paint that not a lot of people can do it. And it's not because it's that difficult. It requires some patience. Some people just want to just dip this in something and move on. And that's fine if that's what you want to do, but we got to do a bit more than that. Okay, this whole side is done. The back is done. That side's done. Front's done. Okay, cool. All right, let's go mix up a. Where's the orange? Let's do the little tailpipes. So we're going to experiment soon on making a snow tablecloth. And I'm going to try it with felt. I actually have little pieces of felt, relatively small, but I have them all over the place. I don't really have a use for them anymore. And just see how airbrushing certain parts on the felt would work. I think I can pull it off. I think I can. All right, and now at this point, what we want to do is we want to do that light dusting on this whole thing. And then we'll do the drippings. It's over here. It's been hanging out upside down all day. You know, it's dry-ish. not going to make it long. I got up at an hour earlier than I normally do this morning, and it's catching up with me. And let's do the same thing on the turret. A little bit of this. I went to the art supply store today. Probably the best way to describe that place. Michael's. And they had some things that were on a weird sale I'd never seen before. Buy 3, get 2 free. It's kind of an interesting take. There it is. No, I think I'm going to call it out for the night. I'm pretty tired. I figured if I could get something going on here, get some back and forth, I'd wake up a little bit, but that's not going to be the case. So we'll see you guys in about 8 hours or so for the morning session on Tuesday. All right, folks, have a good night. Bye-bye.